So we have a test on Tuesday over the purple notes, the Unit 1-1 notes. It's going to be covering slope and direct variation and finding y-intercept. So I want to really quickly go over the stuff that y'all need to make sure. I mean, you need to go over everything in this book, but specifically, you need to understand that M is your slope, your unit rate, your rate of change. K is only direct variation, and it's your constant of variation. You find it with y over x. We only do just y over x for direct variation, and because it's a special linear function, and all the rest of them we do delta y over delta x. And in fact, you can do delta y over delta x for this one, which is rate of change. Okay, you can do that for direct variation as well. Okay, y-intercept is your one-time only phi, and we did a whole page of notes on y-intercept back here somewhere. Where did we do them? Yeah, we did a whole page of notes on y-intercept here. Okay, so y-intercept, and y-intercept is b, okay, in your y equals mx plus b formatted equation. Okay, so the y-intercept, it's where the line crosses the y-axis. It's the one-time only phi. It's the constant. It's the zero row in a table. It's the constant in your equation, and it's any of these things. It's a fee, it's shipping, it's parts, it's a service charge, it's something like that. Okay? Direct variation is only different in that with direct variation, hold on if I can find it, with direct variation, it passes through the origin. So it's still linear, but it has no constant. It passes through the origin. It has a 0, 0 row in the table, and in a situation, you don't have that one-time fee. Okay, this is the only one where y over x works. If you're going to use y over x, you have to do it for more than one row. It has to work for every row in the table, or else it's not direct variation. Okay, so let's now that we've kind of talked about that, everything in here is what's on your test. So make sure you go through your purple booklet. Let's talk about this review. Okay, so I'm going to work through it with you. Again, it's going to take as long as it's going to take. Feel free to fast forward if you would like to. Okay, so for question 1, 4, and 5, those are finding slope and y-intercept on a graph. Okay, so remember, the y-intercept is always the easiest one to find. It's where does it cross the y-axis? Well, it crosses at 2. Okay, for this one, it crosses at -2. For this one, it crosses at 0. And if it crosses at 0, that makes it direct variation. Okay, now to find the slope on these graphs, first thing we do, remember, we sign the line. Okay, so I'm going downhill. That means I'm immediately going to put a negative in the space for my slope because it's going downhill. And the easiest way I've found to do is if you can. Now, you can't always do it like you can't on number 4, but if you can find where it crosses the y-intercept and where it crosses x, which is called the x-intercept, we'll talk about that later, and use that as your rise and run. So that I went down 2, right 4. So before I decide that that's my pattern, I'm going to go down 2, right 4 again, and I am right on the line. So my rise over run is down 2 over 4. Okay, now I'm going to pause for a second, go grab a calculator. Okay, sorry about that. Now when I put that on my calculator, remember I can do alpha, so the green button, alpha y equals enter, or 1, and then I can make a fraction. So if I put -2 on the top and 4 on the bottom, it gives me -1/2. So -1/2 is my slope. And that means a rise of 1 and a run of 2, and it's going downhill. So -1 over 2, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. All of those points are on my line too. Okay? Because this does not go through the origin, it is not direct variation. Okay? Let's look down here at the next graph. Again, for this one, I can't really, if you look right there, you see how if you look, and we're going to look really closely, if you look really closely, you see how it doesn't go through the x-axis exactly at 1? It goes through a little bit higher. It goes right there is where it crosses. Okay? So I sign the line. It's going up, so I know my slope is going to be positive. I don't have to put the plus there, but it's a good kind of reminder to me that I checked it. Okay? Not negative. If it was multiple choice, I could cross off anything that was negative at this point. Okay? So I rise 3, I run 1. And again, if you have to, 3 over 1 reduces to 3. So my slope is 3. Since it has a y-intercept that's not 0, it doesn't go through the origin. This one is not direct variation. Okay, and this last one here, I'm going to look for the points. So I go through 0, 0. It kind of looks like I go through there and there as well. So let's start back here. I'm going to rise 1, run 4. Let's try it again. Rise 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks good. So it looks like my slope is rise is 1 over 4, which is 1/4. Could you have put 0.25? Absolutely. It would have been perfectly correct. Okay? So that's how we find rate of change, slope, y-intercept on a graph. Now let's look at a table. Okay? Now, on a table, to find the rate, the first thing I do is I try to find my y-intercept. Okay? And it just, boom, jumps out at me. 0, 0. Now, on this test, we're going to actually cross off question 3 because on the test that we're taking right now, we're not going to have to like do anything special to find the y-intercept. It should jump right out at you. Okay? And it's the part of the y. So the y-intercept is the 0 is the y part. So this one has a y-intercept of 0, which means yes. I don't know why I've made yes, but yes, that is direct variation. Now we're going to look at slope. Now when I decide which row I'm going to use, I use the row I think is going to be easiest for me, okay? I don't like negatives. I'm just going to be honest with you. They kind of freak me out. So I'm going to do this, because I know if to get from 0 to 4.5, I add 4.5. To get from 0 to 6, I add 6. So my change in y over change in x is 4.5 over 6. And again, just throw it in my calculator, alpha y. Whoopsie. Alpha y equals, and I put 4.5 on the top, 6 on the bottom. Simplifies that to 0.75. If you put 3/4, also correct. Okay? All right. We're not doing that one. Let's jump down to this one. Okay, for this one, again, I try to find my y-intercept. Okay, so I look for the row where y is 0, and then I look for the y part of that coordinate. There's B, -3. Okay? Now, when I'm looking for my slope, I don't like these negatives, so I'm going to use these 2 points. To get from -3 to 9, now let's say I'm not sure. I can take the bottom number minus the top number. So the bottom number is 9, so I do 9 minus, the top number is -3. And it tells me I added 12. And I can check that. -3 plus 12 is 9. So I can check and see that it works. 0 plus 3 is 3. So when I put my change in y over change in x, I get 12 over 3, which I'll just tell you now, reduces to 4. Okay? This does not go through 0, 0, so this is not direct variation. All right? So that's the first thing. You have to be able to tell me, if something's direct variation. You have to be able to tell me if what the slope is and what the y-intercept is, what the rate of change is and what the b is. Okay? This is a big part of your test, being able to do this. Now, we're also going to see some kind of word problems. All right? So first of all, if I look at this is the graph below represents a diver's net change in depth in feet, y, over a number of seconds, x, which is a true statement. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to sign the line. And that means it is negative. So when I look at these, he's descending on all of these, so that doesn't help me. Okay? But I do see 4s and 3s, so I know I've got a 4 and a 3 happening here. And when I look here, I see that I'm going down 3 over 4. So my rise is down 3. My run is 4. Well, look at that. They've got every possible way I can mess this up. Am I going 3 feet in 1 second? No, I'm going 3 feet. Well, I'm going 3 feet in 4 seconds. Am I going 4 feet in 1 second? No, I'm not doing that. But my rate of change is -3/4. That means I'm going down 3/4. Okay? This is like in our assessment where they mixed it up. Okay, let's look at this one. A graph containing 2 points is shown below. Which of the following statements is true about the 2 points? Okay, so they're asking about rise and run. So first of all, I'm going to put a line between them because, you know, it just seems like the thing to do. Okay, so I'm going to put a line between them. Okay, and they're asking me about rise and run. All right, So I'm going to do my staircase, right? So I'm going to do a line down to here, and then I'm going to do a line over to here. Okay, so my rise is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it went down 10. I'm sorry, I ran out of lead there. Down 10. Okay, and it looks like I went over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. Right 5. Okay, so it says the rise. So rise is up and down. Well, the rise is 10. So I know it's not this because it can't be 5. It's going down 10. This one is the only one that says down. Negative means down. So that's got to be the one that I'm looking for. Okay, again, let's look at this one. I sign a line. Oops. Maggie. Okay, this is negative slope. So I'm immediately going to cross off those two because they don't have negative slope. So I don't even need to worry about those, okay? The whole thing is wrong. Okay, now I'm going to look. So I know the slope is negative. And now when I look at my two remaining answer choices, they both tell me that my y-intercept is 90, so that's not going to help me. Now I got to figure out how it's changing, okay? Well, I see this point and this point. So I'm going, let's do this one. Let's do this one right here because this one's a unit, a 10 interval, okay? So I go down 10, right 2. Now remember, you have to pay attention to what these little marks mean. This is not down 2, right 2. It's down 10 because to get from 90 to 80, I got to go down 10. And then I go right 2. Well, 10 over 2 is 5. B's got to be the answer. I know my slope has to be negative, and the rate of change was negative 5. Okay? Check out this one. This one, which one is a slope that has a y-intercept of negative 3? Well, I mean, like, so let's find the 0 row. Okay, here's the 0 row. Let's say that 8 times fast. 0 row is right there. Okay, and now let's highlight the y part. Okay, which one of those is negative 3? Right there, it's C. Okay? This one says, okay, this is interesting. Sean sells chicken coops for $4.50 plus a $100 delivery fee. Okay? Okay, they give me this table, but I don't really need it because I know that a y-intercept is a fee, right? A y-intercept is a fee. It's a one-time thing, right? So I know my y-intercept has to be the fee. It has to be 100. 450 is my rate of change. It's my slope. Okay? And yeah. Okay? Okay. So this one looks kind of tricky, but really, if you just look at this one, so this one goes to the origin. So we know this one has a 0, 0 slope, a 0, 0 y-intercept. We know our graph, our table in our calculator goes from positive 10 to negative 10, right? Well, this is way below negative 10. This is like negative 20-ish, right? So I know my line's not crossing y at negative 5. This one is going to be positive something. This one is negative something. This one is most likely to be my answer, okay? Because it's halfway down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom, there it is, okay? But even if I don't know it, this is the only one that can be, because this is positive, this is 0, and this one's way lower than 5, okay? All right, and then the very last part, let's look at these last ones, okay? Okay, so this one is a linear function. It says he graphed, I don't even care about this question, but yeah, don't worry about this question, okay? So this one down here, it says it has 2 points. What's the y-intercept? Okay, well, let's see if we can process of elimination this. This is plus 12. This is plus 8. 12 over 8 is, what is 12 over 8? Is 3 halves, 1.5. Okay, well, that's the slope. All right. Now, I already know there's a value at negative 4, negative 5, negative 4, so it can't be that. I already know there's a value at 8, but it's 3, 8, so it can't be that. It's got to be B. Like, even if I just, like, cause and effect, just think about it, okay? I know what the slope is. It's not going to be the slope. It's not going to be -4 because at -4, I don't have 0. It's not going to be 8 because at 8, I don't have 0. So I can eliminate those two straight away. Okay? And I literally just did the same problem. Oh, hey. Maybe I didn't. Okay. So now, does that kind of make sense? Even if I don't, you shouldn't see anything this difficult like this, not in this test, probably on the next one. But even if you do, you can kind of like use common sense to figure out what they are. And if you just know that when you're looking at a table, when x is 0, whatever y is, that's your y-intercept. Okay, and this one, again, I'm going to find my slope. -8 plus 7 is 1. Oh, I hate this. I don't know, so I'm going to put it in my calculator. 2 minus -1.5 is 3.5. 7 over 3.5 is 2. What? Okay, well the answer is 2. So sorry about that. I did not create this worksheet, so I guess I'll take the hit for it anyway. But so that's what your test is over. Your test is over direct variation. So knowing whether it's direct variation by looking at a graph, a table, an equation. Remember, in a graph, we're going to have going through the origin. In a table, you're going to see a 0, 0 row. In a table also, you'll see y divided by x is the same for every row in a table. And then in an equation, you're going to see no y-intercept. Well, your graph won't have your equation won't have a b. It'll be y equals kx instead of mx plus b. So we'll just do y equals mx. Okay, m is the slope. All right. Now, the other thing you need to know is how to find slope and y-intercept. Okay, slope is rise over run. It's rate of change. It's the slope formula. If worst comes to worst, you can use the slope formula on your formula chart right there. Okay, wait, I'm sorry, right there. It's on your formula chart. And the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. It's the 0 row. It's like a coordinate with 0 comma something. And it's the phi in your equation. And the slope in your situation, the slope is the thing that repeats. So slope repeats, y-intercept doesn't. All right, so I hope this was helpful. If it wasn't, by all means, please feel free to send me a message and remind. I'm happy to help you. This is not, you're going to freak out about this, but don't freak out about the test. It's not as bad as it seems.